Does anyone have a hollowness and hatred toward advertisements? I think about this all the time, but I don't fall for ads. I think to myself, surely ads work, but they hardly do, and I try to make it a point to avoid those companies in protest for disrespecting my intelligence, especially when those commercials are ran a lot or if they are annoying. Anybody else feel the same? I find most advertisements so obnoxious that ads make me actively avoid their product. I try to do this in the sense that when I need a generic product or service, I specifically seek out small-scale providers that I've never heard of before and consider them with bias before any other provider. Providers that I unintentionally know very well via advertising are ruled out entirely whenever possible. I explain it as a method of devaluing intrusive advertising while also promoting small local business. Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. John Wanamaker. Yes, OG, they make me straight up depressed sometimes. It's like watching how fake the world is right in your living room. I find 80% of action scenes in movies boring. Do you? I can't get hyped for action just because. I can't into movies when there's fighting from beginning to end unless the storyline is great like Ip Man. The Raid also. Sometimes I think I am not into fighting at all, but I am. I am just picky lol, and don't get me started on chase scenes, especially in a car. Yes, there are some interesting ones, but in general it's just like having special effects for the sake of having special effects. It doesn't add to the story in any way. You just have to wait till the inevitable conclusion for the next scene. Yes, especially in superhero movies. The action scenes are completely pointless because you already know how they are going to end. They are full of CGI and fake stunts, and they aren't intense because PG-13. It's lazy and annoying when a movie has too many jump cuts during the fight scenes. I agree with this for the most part, with one exception. John Wick. I've never liked action movies before, but the John Wick movies keep me entertained every second. Why are people on Reddit so anti-Instagram, upset about other platforms stealing content when every other post here on the front page is just a Twitter screenshot? Like any community, there is a toxic fan base around Reddit. It doesn't help that a lot of people come here because they specifically don't like Instagram. I'd think most people are sensible enough to not care. For a place that hates TikTok, there is sure a hell of a lot of them here. Even on the r-memes subreddit. For a sense of superiority like the Xbox PS4/PC debate. I suspect it could also be about credit and ownership. Pictures of Twitter screenshots are clearly from Twitter. Reddit content reposted to Instagram frequently will not have any indication it had come from Reddit. Easier to pass things off as original when you don't know where it came from. Can Muslim women take off their hijab in front of male doctors? Yes, if it's absolutely necessary. There's a scale of how strict people are with their religion. Some will attend an appointment and remove coverings with no issue. Some will only do so with a relative present to act as a chaperone. Some will want to see a doctor of the same faith, etc. Modern progressive Muslim leaders would state that God would not want you to die for the sake of your modesty, which the covering protects. A similar thing would be Sikh removing a turban for medical procedures or removing it to save a life, which makes the news often. An additional question. Is this different for Muslim women depending on where they live? Is this okay in both Iran and in England or America? Sorry if this is hijacking your thread, but I'll ask it here instead of making a new thread. The people giving answers to you could probably shed some light on this. No pun intended. Do Muslim women who wear a niqab or something similar have a vitamin D problem? From what I've read, these women can go years without showing their bare skin to sunlight. Unless they have a backyard patio where they can lounge in privacy. I'd imagine that takes a toll on the skin eventually. And why is it that when I'm sick and schedule a doctor's appointment, then suddenly I start to feel healthy again, making me look dumb when I see the doctor? Happen to anyone else? Look dumb to whom the doctor doesn't mind lol. If the problem is recurring, you get sick. then feel better, then get sick with the same symptoms again. Note your symptoms and try to get in as close to when you feel sick as possible. Tell the doc all your normal symptoms and they should be able to diagnose something there, even if you're not currently experiencing them. Maybe you are relieved that someone professional is looking at you and you won't die. When I go to the doctor, I'm always afraid that maybe it will be something serious. But when I see them calm, I become calm, hopeful, etc., and my positive emotions affect how much I feel pain. I also feel silly when this happens. But then again, you can't know for certain what you have. So it is normal to worry and go to the doctor, even when it may be just a normal flu, etc. Could be a placebo. You're sick, but now you're in front of someone who can make you all better so you can relax. Symptoms that are exacerbated by stress go away. Why does Hollywood consistently cast 23-25-year-olds to play high schoolers? I know about labor laws, so I know why they don't hire literal minors. But it still seems like they could find an 18 or 19-year-old actor who better looks the part. I find it pretty unlikely that it would be slim pickings to find someone younger than 20 who was a good actor. It's not even just Hollywood. This problem is pretty rampant across all acting mediums. There are many Broadway shows that feature teen characters that have fully developed, grown singing voices that they don't even try to mask. One of the most egregious examples I can personally remember is the OC casting a well-built 24-year-old to play their main character, who was a high school sophomore. It just hurts suspension of disbelief, and I must be missing some obvious explanation. The biggest problem with casting actually teenagers is that they grow up and change appearance pretty quickly. Hard to have a show about 14 years old main characters if after season 2 they're 16. Some shows do actually intend on this and change their show around it, but it's not always desired. Also, with adults playing teens, you can have them do more mature stuff on camera, like drinking or engaging in sexual activity. They are better actors. It's far easier to make a 22-year-old experienced actor look like a high schooler than it is to make a 16-year-old become a good actor. Because high schoolers don't tend to have experience and 20-year-olds are more plentiful. It's not about how old you are, but how old you look. Actors have an age range where they can play a 16-25-year-old or whatever it might be. Source: I used to be an acting instructor. You never tell the casting people your actual age. Is not wanting to bring children into this world because of how awful it is a valid reason to be childless? The world's always been kind of a messed up place, hasn't it? Any reason not to have children is a valid reason. If you're not willing to give your absolute 100% for any reason, don't have them and take every precaution against having them. If they are gonna be born into a shitty world, the last thing they need is a parent who believes that they may as well be ST2 cause that's how the world is. Any reason to be childless is valid. You're under no obligation to have children. It's your life. You don't need a reason. It's one valid reason. The world was always messed up, but that won't make it better for your kid. But you don't even need one. You're allowed not to have children simply because you don't want to. Is cheating on you so common? My roommate's GF has been stuck in Europe for about 2 months because of COVID. Earlier today I just happened to see him and another girl leave his room as I was in the kitchen. I never planned on saying anything, but he confronted me about it later and made the argument that everyone cheats. As long as it's meaningless, it's fine. Is this normal? Did my perception of love just get shattered? I think it is common amongst certain types of people, and those types of people often surround themselves with similar people, which in turn makes their behavior seem even more normal to them. I personally don't think it's as common as he implies, but unfortunately not as rare as you'd wish. WF no, that's fucked up. Unless his GF knows about it and is okay with it, then it's not okay. Appeal to popularity is a fallacy. That doesn't make it okay. Common enough that almost everyone I know has been cheated on at least once, including myself. But so is abuse. Just because it is common doesn't mean it is a good thing. I never got my stimulus check from the United States government. Months later, is there anything I can do? For context, I'm an independent adult who makes far under the cutoff for receiving assistance. There's no reason I shouldn't have received the check. My fiancée received hers almost immediately. I contacted the IRS about a month ago, and they assured me it would still be coming and that I could expect it in 1-2 weeks. Obviously that didn't happen. Is there anything I can do at this point? Same situation here. I also called the IRS. They assured me that they are still being sent out until the end of the year. It's frustrating, as I was on hold for almost 1 hour, and before I could even say introduction he informed me not to disclose my income, social security number, or any really helpful details that I thought would help them to address the problem. I'm kind of just left scratching my head. I'm sorry I didn't really answer your question either, but at least you know you're not alone. Did you check the self-checking tool? https://sa.www.gov/ifof-wms/login/rights-bracket/open-is/login. I spoke to them recently. I never got it because I hadn't filed my 2018 and 2019 taxes until the 10th of July this year. I know, I'm a bad boy. They told me that the GVMT is sending them out until the end of the year. If you don't get it by then, you can claim it as a credit on 2020 taxes, which means you will likely get a larger tax return check in 2021. Check if your information is correct. Maybe you've moved semi-recently and haven't updated your address. The IRS has stated that checks are still being sent out and will be through at least the 11th of September. Until then, there's not much to do but wait. Why do so many people feel tired the whole day then immediately feel super awake at night? I feel like almost everyone I see, both online and in person, feel tired as HL throughout the day. Then, right when it's time to actually go to bed, bam, suddenly it's like you're an owl on cocaine. As I write this, I spent the whole day being sluggish and now it's 2 AM and I'm listening to music and on Reddit and my brain shows absolutely zero signs of wanting to go to sleep even though I have class at 7 AM. And the cycle just keeps on going every single day. Tired when I should be awake and awake when I should be tired. Why does this happen to almost everyone? It can't be that everyone has delayed sleep syndrome or insomnia. I could be wrong, but I feel like this is a problem with the majority of people under the age of 25. Why the HL is this messed up sleep schedule within everyone, especially those who are young? What can we do to fix it? No matter what I do, I never feel tired before at least 1 to 2 AM. Currently 4:30 AM here and I'm not tired. Was sluggish all day. I suspect it has something to do with blue light from phones and TVs. Same. Perhaps it is the fact that our days consist of the same old cycles of repetition, aka work, eat, run errands, but after a certain time, let's say 7, you actually do something that interests you, therefore you are more engaged. I'd love to see if anyone has any solutions for feeling awake during the whole day. I put it down to not actually being tired but subconsciously being reluctant and resenting what I have to do that day. Yes, it's the main reason my sleeping schedule gets fucked. Magic bird. I was walking down a main road and a man approached me, at a distance, and asked if he could show me a magic trick for a tip. I gave him $5 and he did his thing. Made a ball disappear and reappear in this other hand and a few other things. But then he asked if I would reach into a bag looking thing that didn't have a bottom. My hand went all the way through. When I pulled my hand out he waved his hand, and AFG pigeon came out. How? He was wearing short sleeves. This happened over a week ago and I'm still thinking about it. BTW, he gave me hand sanitizer after and it was a really fun experience. Magician's code bro. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please smash that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe.